Okay, so here we go, picking up where we left off, and we're going to add another switch so we can get into some trunking goodness here. So we'll do this, and maybe we'll add a PC. And I'm going to point out here, there's this little label job up here that's very nice to have, so we can see, you know, sort of what everybody is, or what all the IP addresses are. And so we'll go ahead and add these to the screen, too. And what I want to do is I'm going to go to this one here, and we'll make it .3. That's what it'll eventually be. But let's get everybody connected. So we'll do this, and because we're going to interconnect, we're going to interconnect switches, and we'll go with the gigabit ports. And we'll connect our PC here. Now we're not, at this point, we're not doing anything with different networks. We're just fooling around with the idea of VLANs and things like that. And actually, I'm going to get rid of this particular link here, just to make it clear which ports we're working with. So I'm going to go ahead and use, I don't know, we'll do something crazy like, we'll do port 24. We'll put it way up on the top side there. Okay, so let's give this particular PC its IP address, right? We wanted to do like this. All right, and we will, while we're waiting for that to come up, oops, we'll get the desktop here. We'll do an IP config. It's not going to work. There we go. All right. And we will just ping ourselves like that. So that works pretty good. So now let's try to ping from PC2 over to one of his friends over here. So we'll just change this to say .1. Oh dear, that doesn't work. What do we do? And you say, oh, I know what we got to do. We got to go down here to this switch, and we have to go into the CLI. And remember that we were on port 24 on this one, right? We can see port 24 is coming up and down here. So let's go to port 24, and we will say the same thing we did over there. Whoops. We'll go switch port access VLAN 100, I think we used before. All right, so that ought to be pretty good. And again, we're waiting for this guy to flop around. But while we're doing that, we can say, we can do a show VLAN, right? We can see that 24 is in VLAN 100. And everybody else is in VLAN 1. That's going to be important to us here in a minute. Oh dear. All right, and let's take a look at our, this is from, that's PC1. We don't care about him anymore. Okay. By the way, Control-Shift-6 gets you out of those silly things, or sometimes F6. So we'll do a show MAC address table again. Whoops. Okay, we have learned it, so we know it's out there. Let's try it again. Oops. Let's try it one more time. Oh dear, what's happening here? Well, if we go back and we take a look at the VLANs, we added this nice line here. And those ports are in VLAN 1, and we can verify that because we know that they're the gig ports. Okay, and there they are right there. Now, one way to solve this would be to simply put those gigabit ports into VLAN 100, but that's short-sighted, and the reason it's short-sighted is because what if we use more VLANs? So what we really need to do is make this particular line and the one on the other side trunk ports. Now, in in advanced equipment, right, you don't have to do that on both sides. You just say, well, we'll either negotiate or I'll turn one into a trunk and the other one will figure it out. But we're going to make sure we're going to specify both sides. So what I'm going to do is, so if I just click on my link here, whoops. All right. So these, I did it again. These links are, these, there we go. There's the gig 01 and 01 on both sides. So what I'm going to do on those lines is I'm going to say, I want you to be a trunk. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to say switchboard mode trunk. Pretty straightforward, right? And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now, what that does is it tells the two sides that I want you to convey VLAN information along with the traffic as it goes across the links. Now again, we're waiting for these guys to come up. That's looking pretty happy there. We'll get there. But what we can do also is we can say, well, how do I know they're trunks? What's special about them? And if I go show int G0/1 switchboard, I can see that I'm doing .1Q or IEEE 802.1Q trunking. And by default that I've got my VLANs enabled here. And what that allows me to, what that means is that the trunk is willing to send traffic tagged with those particular VLANs across the trunk. So let's go back to our PC and try that again. And look at that, it works. Ta-da! So the thing that we want to remember is that we've got to put nodes on the same network in the same VLAN, no matter where they are in the topology. And we want to make sure that if we're interconnecting trunks, we want to make sure, or interconnecting switches, we want to make sure that we use trunks. And 802.1Q or .1Q is the industry standard non-proprietary trunking protocol. I think that'll do it for this one.